excited to be here today for our Beyond Hustle Happy Hour. I am super excited because today I have some of my amazing women who boss up authors that are here with us. We're going to be talking about identity reckoning on our happy hour. And it's exciting because we've all gone through so many things in our life. And so the women that I was becoming is a really important question, really important conversation, because as you're building a life and a business, what's very unique about women is that we kind of ebb and flow between the two at all times. So this conversation is very important for us to have as business women, and I'm super excited, like I said, to have my amazing guests, Amy Lynn, Yolanda Taylor, and Dr. Julie Tran Olive. So I'm going to go to each one of you and have you each to share a little bit about yourself. And I think, Amy, I think your dog is like telling you it's almost time for you to eat. I hear something in the background.
Dog, my dog.
It's not yours, it's somebody else. All right. Dr. Julie, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, I get to go first. Okay. Hi, everyone. It's evening time for me here in California. So I'm Dr. Julie Tranolive, a naturopathic doctor, acupuncturist, and author, and I'm the founder of Silicon Valley Natural Health. I specialize in whole person healing, combining acupuncture, naturopathic medicine, and weight neutral, body affirming approach to wellness. I work with people who want a more compassionate, individualized approach to health and one that helps them feel better and feel better in their bodies.
Oh, I love it. So Dr. Julie and I have known each other since probably like 2021 or something like that. And amazing international best-selling author, part of the Women Who Boss Up Asian Women Trailblazers book. And I'm just so excited because we've done many things together over the years. She's been a speaker on my summits before. So Dr. Julie, thank you so much for being here. And
Thanks for
we
having
also have
me.
Yes, yes. We also have Yo Taylor. Yo and I have been friends for a long, long time. We're from the same neighborhood. We grew up as teenagers. We were flight attendants together as well. And we just have watched our life just kind of continue to grow and expand. I'm so excited for her to share a little bit about herself. So, Yo, tell a little bit about yourself as well.
Well, thank you for having me here today. It's great to be with these fabulous ladies. My name is Yo Taylor, and I am the CEO and founder of At the Style Table. And it is a business that supports women. And I am a life and style coach, and I help women step into their power through their style. I help women find their voice. I help women look their best. And I help them build a wardrobe that gets them seen before helps them attract the people that they want, attract the energy that they want, and just feel confident. My thing is, I want women to feel like it's okay. You're allowed to feel like you're beautiful. You're allowed to feel like you're sexy, you're hot. And just because you're over 45 and you may not have your 20-year-old body doesn't mean that you still can't look good and feel good. And I'm here for that. And that's what I do is support women in their body transformation and their business.
I love that. I love that. And she's helped me a lot. And I can definitely attest to her helping me with a lot of events and just even just my approach and thought process around who I am and why it means something to look a certain way. And it's not just vanity. I mean, I had really kind of a different way to look about this. That's why I have her on this conversation about the woman I was becoming. And also Amy Lynn. I've known Amy Lynn for a long time. Amy was like in my second book. And Amy is just, I've just seen her blossom over the years. Not that she was in a bad place, but I saw her just get just better, and I've seen her move across the world, and just who she has become. I'm just so proud to know her. So, Amy Lynn, tell me a little bit about yourself as well.
Yeah, hey Tam, hey ladies. Thank you for having me, and thank you for your kind words because I definitely, especially the topic we're going to be talking about is the woman becoming. I definitely have evolved, like you mentioned. So, hi everybody. So, my name is Amy Lynn, and I'm a wealth mindset coach, and I teach entrepreneurs on how to manifest wealth and abundance without burnout. So, I think today's topic is beyond hustling because I've done the hustling, and there's actually a different way to achieve what I call success and peace and your ideal life. And I'd love to share more about that today.
I love that. And I love that she's really always talked about opulent life. And she's a woman who lives that way, has made those decisions for herself and her life, and a very good example. Amy, I'm going to start with you because I know that you have to leave us a little bit early, which is fine. But I want to make sure that I get some questions out. For many years, other people's expectations shaped how you saw yourself. What helped you recognize the woman you truly wanted to become?
A big part of that definitely contribute to personal development because I feel like especially my journey of transformation is because I didn't know who I was, I didn't know who I wanted, and through personal development I found out who I really am, what is it that I want to do, and what is my ideal life. That really gave me the power back to say, okay, so what is it that I want, and start to live the life that I wanted to create rather than what maybe my parents, maybe the society had put on me. So I contribute my transformation to personal development. And also the saying, know thyself. I think that's one of the most important things that we can do as human beings is to really know who we are.
Yeah, I love that. And I want to say this out loud because, it is not easy when, number one, you said personal development. That's not necessarily a thing that happens in the Asian community per se.
Right.
Coaching is kind of a new thing.
Yes.
And then also, like, becoming something other than what the expectations of your family is huge, to be able to pull away from expectations. And it's not different necessarily in different cultures. It's just sometimes a little more intense. It feels a little bit more intense in
Yes.
some things. And you and I have talked about this in the past, which is why I love your story. How does a woman's sense of self worth influence the opportunities, the relationships, and the level of success that she allows herself to achieve or to
Yes.
receive?
Huge. And I think this topic is really close to my heart because I live that. I talk about self-worth a lot because growing up I actually had low self-worth and I didn't even know. And that manifested in my relationship, in my career, in my success. So I felt like I was always wanting to feel worthy by external things. So chasing success, chasing money. And I believed that, oh, once I achieve those success, then I will finally feel worthy. And I've learned through personal development, learning, doing the inner work, that I learned that that's actually not true. Our self-worth actually is intrinsic, meaning that we don't need to do anything. We simply are worthy because we exist, and it because of who we are, because we are all child of God. And that's huge for me to really recognize that and to really accept that idea, and be able to, coming from that space, then I'm able to attract more opportunity to me because I'm already worthy. So I don't need external things, success, to feel worthy. So it's actually the opposite. So that, and self-worth really is the container, if you will. Your self-worth controls how much money you allow in, what kind of success you allow in, and what kind of relationships. And I always quote this by Dr. Joe Dispenza, if some of you may know him. He has a quote that says, the universe will only give us what we feel we're worthy of. So if we don't feel worthy, the universe is not able to provide us with what we want. So I would say definitely that's one of the biggest thing is that your self-worth has a huge influence on everything.
I love that, and it makes me think of, just because I saw Michael Jackson recently, about how much he manifested, how much he, continued to do that work and think about and make himself believe that he could be the greatest of all time. And he achieved it. He
Yep.
absolutely did.
Yep.
And so, and what you're saying is basically the same kind of thing. It's just like, believing it, and already knowing that you're worthy.
Right. So you got to believe first and then success follows, not the opposite. Because we're taught by society or the way we were programmed is, oh, you got to achieve certain status, then you can feel successful. But that's not true. It's opposite. You got to feel first. And one of the ways, like you mentioned, how we can start programming ourselves is through affirmations to start telling ourselves that we are worthy, we are enough, that we are already successful. And then everything else follows that.
I love that. Thank you so much, Yolanda. So, like I said, I've known you for a long time, and you became a flight attendant, and you have gone through a lot of inner work and transformation, and even realizing that part of that story that you had to experience, it has helped you to even help the next woman, right, with her own transformation. So after 31 years of wearing a uniform, what did retirement reveal about the women you had been becoming underneath it?
Well, it revealed that I was something more and that I had more than one life gear. I was not just a mom and a flight attendant and husband. The dreams that I had were achievable. I had it in me, and that I could do it. I could do what I wanted to do. And I could say that also just saying that I deserve it, the affirmations, and saying that really trusting in God and knowing what was for me, and living in abundance where I know that when it's my turn, that God has what's for me. He will bless me with that. And I've learned that when I ask, he provides. He gives me what I ask for. If I just learn that I can ask for things. I don't have to wait, like when I was working, wait for somebody to tell me I'm valuable, wait for someone else to praise me. I could praise myself because and I could say that I'm worthy, and I can go to God and ask him for what I want because I felt worthy. I think that is where the real growth came from me. I just wasn't waiting for other people's praises. I could praise myself.
Yeah, I love that. You say style is where an internal shift becomes visible, which I love that. How can changing how we dress help us step into a new identity without creating another mask? Which I think is such a deep question.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do
Well,
you think?
I'm finding that as I'm working with women, many times women say, I have nothing to wear, I don't feel good. It's because their clothes are here, their wardrobe is here, their career is here. And so it's like the shift comes when they start to understand that they need a wardrobe that aligns to their trajectory and where they're going. And when they look good and they feel good, they step into what I like to say they should be a walking manifestation of their dreams and their goals. So when they step in a room, people can see that glow and that energy, and they're just naturally attracted to it. So I think, and then you feel just really happy. You just feel really happy, and all of that energy is real, it's authentic, it's not a mask. You know, just because you have on a lot of designer clothes, if it doesn't match your energy, it is a mask.
Yeah.
So so it doesn't matter whether it's designer or whether it's this or that. If you feel really good and your wardrobe aligns with where you're going and not where you've been, and you don't use it as a costume,
Yeah.
that's when what you wear really shows that authentic person, and people are naturally attracted to it because you become the light. You should be the light, and
Yeah.
when you
I,
look good,
I
you feel good through the light.
I love this because this has been probably one of the biggest shifts for me personally. Okay, because I've always been very smart. Okay, I've been smart, and smart says that doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter the way you look. They should accept you the way you show up. But as much as we would love that to be the case, it isn't.
Mhm.
And so it's not smart to hold on to things that are not true.
Mhm.
You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's
yeah.
like the wishing and the hoping is great. And the way you feel about yourself, because you feel like you are making a smart statement, you get to use all of the tools that you have that smart,
Mhm.
right? If you are internally transformed, then you get to present yourself fully transformed inside and out. You get to, okay,
Yeah.
and then don't judge yourself for that because you should represent who you are, and you should be able to command the room as quickly as possible so that they can hear what you got to say. I mean, this is a big transformation for me, right? You want them to hear you. So use all that you got. And I love this. This is like when I talk about the woman I'm becoming, this is probably one of the bigger pieces that I had to kind of get with, you know. Dr. Julie Tran Olive, was there a defining moment when you began questioning society's idea of about what a healthy or acceptable body should look like?
Yes. So growing up, I absorbed, and I think most of us did too, the idea or the message that women had to look a particular way to be acceptable in society, to be considered healthy, to be considered successful. And as I learned more through my studies, nutrition, holistic medicine, I realized that that kind of thinking is very problematic. So I started asking different questions. My questions became more, what if we looked at health without looking at the scale? What if we looked at health without looking at how someone looks? Right? How would that look different? And how is that going to be different for all of us? And so when I did that, that made it a lot better for me to accept me, but to accept everyone else, but also at the same time to help someone with their health goals, right? It was more about, okay, what makes you you, right? How is your sleep? How is your stress? How is your environment? How is work stress? Like all the components that make you you, right? How is that interplaying and how is that manifesting itself in your health concerns or your health goals? Right? That is a better question. That's a better look at it than just looking at someone and going, oh, she must be healthy. She's thin. Oh, she must have some weird disease or some health concern because look how big she is, right? That is not what health looks like. So if we go, don't look at the scale and we look at you as a person, that's going to be better for all of us.
And I love that you are bringing this up because just because, like you're saying, just because you have weight and you don't fit the standards of what someone else thinks uh, is acceptable or not, what you're saying is you have to already embody who you are and walk in that space anyway. And so for us to put a box around what is supposed to be is what you're saying is not acceptable because it does not follow what you know to be healthy just because you're not fitting into a specific box. And I love that you're saying that acceptable or healthy is not the same thing, right? You want to make sure that you are, looking at it a different way. I love that. What do people most often misunderstand about health at every size? And how can women pursue well being without turning their bodies into problems to be fixed?
So, health at every size, or HAES, is a principle that has been trademarked by ASDA, the Association for Size, Diversity, and Health. And so, the biggest misconception is that people think that HAES claims that everyone is healthy no matter what size they are, large body, small body. And that is not what the whole framework is about. The whole framework is about the fact that everybody, large, small, mini, in between, deserves access to genuine, compassionate health care. But the idea is that weight loss is not the primary goal, right? If I go into the doctor's office because I have a cold, I don't want to talk about my weight. I'm there for a cold, right? Or the idea that if I'm going in there for another health condition, why is the topic of my weight the first thing the doctor wants to talk about, even though it has nothing to do with why I'm there, right? So the health at every size is the fact that everybody, large, small, right, deserves access to compassionate healthcare without weight loss being the primary goal,
Yes. And
right?
I love that. I think that, making sure that we are looking at what is the topic at hand, what we are trying to do is make sure that everyone is healthy and diverting to what you consider is your own biases is not the topic right now is what you're saying. So I love that. I love that you are so active in that community as well. Let's talk about some questions we all can uh, take part of. I'm going to ask the question, and I know Amy, you have to leave a little early, so just whenever you have to get out of here, that's no problem. But here's the first question, and I want you all to be able to just chime in. Okay, what part of yourself are you learning to trust more in this season of your life? What part of yourself are you learning to trust more in this season of your life? Let me just start on myself. I'm definitely, and this started probably about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. And once I hit, was turning 50, is that just trusting my intuition more, right? We should be teaching young girls this early, but we don't usually start to realize that, dude, every time I completely dismiss my intuition is when I get into problems. Okay. It's a gift from God that we got that sixth sense. And to be able to stop, listen, and act seriously on what's happening. So that for sure is one thing that I have learned to trust more. It's just my own inner gut. And now I don't go past it. If it comes up, I go, nope, can't do that. Yeah. Who
I,
wants to
I
share?
I
Yeah,
second that.
Amy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say too. Intuition, for sure. It-
Same. Yeah.
Especially as
Yeah.
women, I mean, we all have
Yeah.
intuition, but especially as women, we just have that intuitive knowing. But I think
Yeah.
what's happened a lot of time, it comes back to programming, is because we don't trust ourselves. So we start to doubt ourselves. So even when intuition comes up, we start doubting, like, is that true or is that right? So we start doubting. So I think it comes back to knowing ourselves. That's one of the important things. Before you can listen to your intuition, you gotta know yourself, right? And then listen to it. And then one of the things, because some people ask me, like, okay, so what's the difference between intuition and fear? Because sometimes you're like, oh, it doesn't feel right. They say that, right? So
Mhm.
I always say that intuition comes first, and intuition never wrongs you. But then what comes after could be fear, and then you start to downward spiral. It's like, oh no, it doesn't feel right, and you mistakenly mix that with intuition, but it's not. So I just want to say, like, yes, definitely intuition. We gotta learn to listen to our intuition. Yes.
I want to
I am
piggyback
so
on
glad you
that.
brought that up. Go ahead, Yo.
Because I kind of had a situation where I had my intuition, and then the intuition built into fear, and that's when I had to catch myself and then start addressing it and start asking questions. And once I did that, then the intuition was still right because, I had to be careful. But once I asked the right questions, then I got the answers that I need to feel like it was a good that okay, I was right to ask those questions because the information I was given was very convoluted and it wasn't clear, and I should have questioned it, because so many times women think, "Oh, I don't want someone to feel like I'm making them feel bad," and they're walking into a dangerous situation because they don't want to hurt somebody's feelings when their gut is saying this might not be safe.
Yeah, very, very true. Julie?
Piggybacking on that, it was more of like this season of trusting my own voice, right? And knowing that something is right for me, but it may not look like the traditional path that everyone expects. But as long as I know it's right for me, you don't need to understand it. And I think I had to get past that. Not everybody needs to understand my path, only I do, right? And as long as I feel that it's right for me, that's what I'm going with, right? So it's just trusting that voice, that idea that you don't have to constantly be achieving to feel worthy that Amy was talking about, right? You are worthy because you exist already, right? It's just a matter of giving yourself that trust and that grace, because we give all of our friends that grace, like, oh, don't feel bad about this or that, right? But then we're so critical about ourselves. And I'm like, we have to give ourselves the same compassion and care we would give any of our friends or our family.
Yes.
Yeah.
So true. So true. And as you get older, trusting your voice is true. That's really what it is. I think there's a kind of another way of saying intuition, but
Mhm.
trusting yourself and loving yourself, and you are enough, and all of those things kind of come into play. What boundary, habit, or decision is helping you make space for the woman you are becoming?
Saying no without having to justify why I said no. Right?
Yes, Julie. Full stop.
Right? If you like Tam, if you ask me, hey, can you come on my podcast and it's at a time I can't, I'm just gonna say no. Right? But I don't stopping myself having to feel like, oh sorry, Tam, no, because I have XYZ. It doesn't matter. I've said no, right? I should just be able to say no and just giving myself permission to say no without having to justify why I said no. Right? Because again, with trusting our voice and our intuition at this point in time, I want to be intentional where I spend my energy, right? And my time. And I've always been of the, if I don't love myself more when I'm around you, or if I'm not better when I'm around you, then I don't spend my time there, right?
Yes. Girl. Girl. Yes. What's funny that you said that, Julie, is that, something I'm learning new. This is new. This is like real hot off the press. Is my over functioning, you know? And that's kind of what you're talking about. No, it's just no. You don't have to over explain. You don't have to make the other person feel better. You don't have to make them understand you more. You don't have to shrink you don't just the over functioning. I think this is the blessing that's coming with hormonal changes. I think so. I think it's probably what it really is. The menopause is on its way.
Mhm.
But yeah, you're starting to realize that yes, it's unnecessary to do all that extra explaining. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Maybe you have something you want to share?
Yeah, for me is learning how to be more present, because I feel like we always have a goal. We always wanted to get to a certain place, right? Go, 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 do, 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 and I'm a multitasker, right? So I'm learning to slow down and really just be in the moment and appreciate what I have worked so hard for or manifested, to really just enjoy. And every year I have a theme of the year, and this year for 2026 is being present. and that's my theme. So I'm just every moment, even especially during work, like working, because you can work your way, many hours. I'm learning to take breaks, to just take a deep breath. We really just come back to that peace and the peace of mind. So for me, it's being present. That's the one of the habits I'm really taking on.
I'm
I
glad you
love it.
said that, Amy, because I think what we have to realize is rest and space is also part of that work, right? We need
Yes,
that just to just be present and just have to take the breaks and just center ourselves and so that we can be more aligned and be more present for our clients, for our family, for our friends, right? And be who we need to be in our lives for whatever roles we have. But yeah, and for ourselves, right? So I love that.
absolutely. I'm sorry,
Yep.
I'm gonna go now. But it was so
Bye,
nice to talk to you. Like,
Amy.
Thank you,
yeah,
Amy.
Thank
thank you,
you.
thank you for your time. Yeah, I'll see you guys.
All right, talk to you later. Thank you. So, yeah, do you want to add to that as well? That what boundary, habit, or decision is helping you make space for the woman you are becoming?
Being a full-time caregiver, trying to, constantly working on and in my business, I have made space for my own health. And I'm learning about my health, not just from what pill I can take next, what I can do to get off the medication, and understanding that my health is my wealth. And also, for women in style, it is not about the number in your dress. It's about your A1C. It's about the T whatever, the T this and the T that. And those are the numbers that matter. It doesn't matter what size that dress is.
Mhm.
If those internal numbers are all jacked up, that's the problem. That's what you need to work on. And so that's what I'm focused on, being able to. I cannot help my family. I cannot be good a good steward of my time, my life, my family, if I'm not a good steward of my own health.
Mhm.
Making appointments, showing up for them, working out, doing something is better than nothing, and exercise because I'm 60. If I fall down, I got to be able to get up. It's not, oh, so I could look hot in a dress. It's like, can I get up once I fall? So it's those things that are more important to me. So that's the the boundary is making time and cutting people out. This is my time for me to do this. And the habit is making sure a little something every day. I don't care if I just do squats in the shower. Something is better than nothing. And I think that's the biggest thing for me in this season of my
Yeah, for
life.
sure. For me, I will say that I have taken on a habit of walking. This started actually really started during COVID. I just started to make that as a part of my every single day. And I've ebbed and flowed. I don't always do every day, but more recently, since I moved, I definitely do, and I've even upped the ante a bit. And it's a combination of things. It has to do with stress relief. It has to do with I don't know if you ever heard watched the show about the blue zones,
Hmm.
about being healthy, and one of the things is walking. They didn't say you had to walk 10,000 steps a day, but just some reasonable amount of walking. So I've taken that on, and I've been trying to, add on some of the habits that I learned from that Netflix series. But yeah, it's the blue zones. That's what I've been really trying, and it helps a lot. It helps a lot. I think just the whole functioning of the body has changed. All the things are working a lot better, and also getting enough water. All those little habits, they're big habits, and I've been able to take some of those on. All right, here's the last question. So complete this sentence: the woman I am becoming no longer apologizes for what? The woman I am becoming no longer apologizes for what?
Taking up
I know,
space,
taking it. Girl, why did you just say the exact same thing I was about to say? Literally. You literally stole it out of my lips.
right?
Okay,
Because I'm no longer apologizing for my voice, for my ambition, my boundaries, my opinions, or the space I occupy in a room, right? For the long time, women taught directly and indirectly that we have to make ourselves smaller to be acceptable. Smaller bodies, smaller voices, smaller dreams, smaller needs. And I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in being whole. So I'm taking up space and I'm okay with that.
yes, yes. And that's the thing. That is the truth. A lot of us, we want to appear smaller, appear less intimidating, to appear less smart, to appear less, less, whatever the less is, right? And I'm no longer interested in that. I think, like I said, I think it's part of this hormonal shift that's happening because I care less about somebody caring that I do want to take up space. Because before I would, care about people, uh, oh, what are they going to think? What are they going to think? So, Yolanda, what do you think?
Well, I totally agree with that, and I would piggyback on that. I totally agree with that. But I think for me is I'm tired. I am no longer apologizing for not being perfect. I'm I'm totally tired of saying I'm sorry I missed your email a week ago. I'm I there's only so I have there's so much going on in my life. I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not going to get everything right. So I'm tired, I'm just no longer apologizing for not being perfect. I'll do the best I can. My intention is never to be disrespectful or hurt anyone. That's never my intention. If that happens, it is genuinely a mistake. But I am no longer beating myself up over it, uh, not being perfect for everybody, for everything. So,
It's so
and I
true.
am allowed to take up space in a room.
It's so true. I think that I'm the same way. I you just got to give yourself a break.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
give yourself a break. And I think that um, we go through different seasons in our life, and I think now is like take a break season.
Mhm.
Take a break.
Yes.
Stop trying to just be so like everything. We are so excited because I have this new book coming out, and I have Mona bringing it up. But Mona, if you could actually go to the women, I'm sorry, the Beyond Hustle website itself, not just the link. But I have a new book coming out, and let me just give you a background on why I'm even wrote this book. Because when I left and moved to Southeast Asia about, gosh, over a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, it's crazy going back and forth, but mostly in Southeast Asia. The reason that happened is because I was really burnt out, is really what was happening. Was burnout. And I didn't really have the language for it because I was so tired, stressed, tired, and at the time and still is, it's just so noisy. It was hard to even find the time to de-stress because everything is so noisy and the responsibility was too much at the same time. Okay. So I needed to lower the stress. And the only place that I had ever found that did that for me instantly was Bangkok, Thailand. Okay. Instantly. And I'd been to Thailand by that time like 10 times. Okay. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to peace out. We're going to go and move there. And not 100%, we go back and forth. But I was able to catch my breath, noticeably bring down my nervous system, noticeably bring down my stress very quickly. And during that time was able to start thinking. So that's when I started writing about, what my life has been about. I think I said out loud to my husband, hard work doesn't work. That was my realization. Hard work doesn't work. And and what I meant by that is I've been working hard my whole life, and all hard work does is lead to more hard work. There's got to be a better way than that. There's got to be. And then I started writing about that's how do you get beyond hustle? Because my first book was called A Woman's Side Hustle, and this next book was called Beyond Hustle. And a couple of things came up is starting to realize that women do not talk enough about our seasons. We don't talk enough about my whole Women Who Boss Up series was just a girl talk. That's what it really started off was a girl talk that we needed to have during COVID. And we don't talk enough about seasons that are all of us are going to come up on. I don't care what nationality we are, all of us are going to come. But then how do we deal with as we get older, getting beyond hustle if we don't have FMLA in our businesses or we don't have things set up correctly to handle if we need to take care of our mom or we don't have, there's some that kind of conversation. So beyond hustle became the thesis of how can we start to create our businesses so that we don't burn out, and that's really what it is. So Mona, can you share the link? So the book is going to be launching at the end of September, and then we have a summit that's happening in October. 3 days. We're going to go a little bit more deeper into the different parts the reckoning, right? The reckoning of your own self, which we've been talking about. Knowing thyself, becoming more clear about yourself, identifying what you need. Um, Business is not just all about for other people; it also needs to be set up for you as well. Mona, go ahead and show that. I know she just had it up a few seconds ago. Yeah, so there you go. You can go ahead and make it the main one if you're able to. I don't know how these things happen. It's amazing. Oh, there we go. Okay, so yeah, the book is available. We will put it in the notes, um, but you can, the book, like I said, it's really a playbook on how women build a business that compounds and pays them for life. Okay, and that way you can get beyond the hustle and the bustle of all the things. So definitely check it out, and then also check out the summit. Like I said, it's going to be October the 6th through the 8th, and we would love to have you there. And I also want to hear back from you how these conversations are really affecting you. How are you able to think about your own existence, your own identity? I would love for you to share as well. And Dr. Julie, do you have anything cool coming up soon that you wanna announce? Or Yolanda, do you have any cool upcoming events? I know Yolanda has a cool upcoming event.
Yeah, I wish Dr. Julie could be there. It is about health, wellness, and relationships. So
Oh, my
it's
kind of event.
oh yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And it's gonna be a good time. It is it's a small event, but it's intimate. Women can really talk and get a chance to connect with the speakers and talk to them and get their questions answered directly, because it is almost like a interactive speaker and networking session where we lunch and we learn from each other. And the energy is all positive and welcoming. This is my fourth
Yep.
annual one. And oh, baby. I told you wants to be a part of it. So, yeah, so it's really a wonderful, wonderful event. And yes, I wish Dr. Julie was there to talk about, you know, taking up space and being yourself. And it's not about your size, it's about your health. And don't,
Yeah.
and women need to be able to go into a doctor and ask what they need to ask and not be judged by anything else or
Yeah.
questioned about anything else other than what they've come in. I love that. I love that
I do
because you
too.
do feel that way. You feel like, or sometimes you feel like you're being treated like you're just this hysterical woman,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
who's
right.
a hypochondriac when you know your body.
Yeah. Dr. Julie, you have anything coming up that you want to share?
I do. So if you're a healthcare practitioner in the Bay Area, September 17th, we are having a healthcare practitioner networking event so that we know who we can refer our patients and clients to, because a lot of times we work in little silos. We don't know who's down the street from us, right? But we need our trusted partners because the whole mission is to build healthier communities. And in order to do that, we need everyone on board, part of the healthcare team. So if you're available, please reach out to me on that one. The other exciting thing is I have a new book coming out. It's going to be on naturopathic medicine. Stay tuned for that.
I love it. I love it. Well, ladies, thank you so much. You've been amazing. And I look forward to next week. We'll have another amazing topic as well. And so we'll have some amazing guests. So thank you so much, everyone, and have a wonderful evening. See you later. Bye.
Hi. Thank you.